Plant-based author Cherie is in the kitchen today and we're going to be making beautiful dumplings using a very interesting ingredient, nettles.
Have you ever used these?
I have, and I love to use them. They scare me slightly because they do sting if you don't prepare them properly.
The name gives it away, doesn't it? So the good thing about nettles is I know there is that fear around nettles because they do have that protein that does give you a little sting, but that completely breaks down when you blanch them. Exactly. So that's what we're going to do, and then we'll prepare them as the filling for our little dumpling dough, but we should make the dough first.
Okay, what flour are we using?
Of course I've gone with Spelt because it's my best friend when it comes to flour. Yep. So we're just getting some extra nutritional goodness in there where we can. And I like the texture of Spelt as well. So this is like a basic pasta dough, that's what it is. Okay. But because it's plant-based, there's no eggs in it. And a lot of people say to me, how do you do a fresh pasta dough or a dumpling dough without eggs? And the answer is you just don't put them in there. That's the simple answer.
In Italy, they have a pasta that's made with plain flour and water, pici, which is a stunning pasta.
Yes,
it really is great.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. I forgot about that. So some salt and then give a little glug of olive oil just so that we can get that silkiness going on.
Okay.
Beautiful. And then, like you would with any other dough, we're just going to blitz that, adding increments of water until it all comes together.
Okay.
Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm going to blanch these. Pot of boiling water, and it's as simple as popping them in.
Right.
That looks good.
Looks good, doesn't it? Lovely, lovely dough. And shall I give it just a very quick knead?
Give it a little knead and then we can just let that rest while we get this filling sorted.
Okay.
So these have been blanched. All the sting is gone, I can promise you.
They're safe to eat and touch now.
They're safe to eat and they smell beautiful. Okay, so I think I've managed to scoop all of those little guys out there.
Yep.
So we're just going to kind of squeeze some of the water out of these because that's our filling for the dumplings. So I think we've done a good job there. And you won't believe how easy this is. We are going to just give this a quick chop.
Okay.
And then we're going to add the secret ingredient, some stock that... It's in my book, and it's a different approach to stock because it's a whole stock paste. So that's it. That's the filling.
So tell us what's in this magical stock paste that you've got here.
It's pretty good. It actually changes the way you cook. If anyone is familiar with the traditional Italian sofrito that you would put into the bottom of a pan to give that foundational flavour, that's what I base this on. So everything that you would put in your veggie stock, if you were making a liquid stock, don't put the water in there, just blitz it in a blender with all of your herbs. So you've got onion and garlic and all the veggies and the herbs, but you've got a whole food version of it.
Can I have a look at that, have a little taste? So that's
it's got salt in it as well.
Completely raw.
Completely raw. So then if you want to put this into the bottom of a pan, you can add your pasta or risotto or do anything like that. You can also add liquid to it and then turn it into a liquid stock if you want to do that. But you know how I feel about fibre. Me and fibre, we're very good friends. So any way that I can introduce a whole food, I'll do it. And I just think this is a brilliant way to do that, but it changes the way you cook. It makes life very easy.
It's very salty, and it's supposed to be like that because it's a stock paste. So you'll add some, and then it'll just flavour everything. It's the seasoning to it. Beautiful umami flavour. To think that that's just vegetables and some herbs. Love it.
So you don't need to use a lot of it, but you've got a much deeper flavour. I think a lot of times when people say they don't like plant-based food, they're maybe not getting what I would call layers of flavour into the food. So this is just a really easy way to do that.
Fantastic. And that's our filling pretty much done. All we need to do is wait for that to rest a little longer. We can start rolling the dough out.
Yeah, and we're going to do that in a pasta machine, so it's going to make our life very easy.
That's what I like to hear. Well, that was very therapeutic, watching you roll out that dough.
It's like a little meditation, isn't it?
It is. And it's such a soft dough too, really lovely.
For spelt, right?
Yes.
It's not what you expect.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to make our dumplings. This is a handy little thing. If you've got a cookie cutter that is about this size, it's about 8 centimetres in diameter, you can make them any size you want. Yep. We're going to cut out some of our little circles and then we will just simply put our filling in there. You know how to do dumplings?
Oh, I do.
Have you got the crimping technique down? You're probably going to teach me a few things.
Well, I must say, I love making dumplings at home and they're not perfect, but they still taste delicious. I think there's that fear of making dumplings at home because you want them to look like the ones you get at the restaurant or you buy at the shops. But I think the ones that look a little bit gnarly, fine.
So
absolutely fine.
I've got the let out clause now. I agree. They're not to be scared of. And if we're talking about meditative processes in the kitchen, this is one of them. Exactly. It's a really nice process.
So how much filling? Are you happy with that?
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Right.
And show us the first one and I'm going to do one too.
Okay, so I usually pull this excess out the way and you can roll this again and make more dumplings out of that dough. So don't get rid of that. It's a really nice soft dough. So
or keep it and roll it out again and make pasta out of it.
It's exactly a pasta dough.
Yep.
So why not? All right, now I just pull them both up to the middle first and then you've got a little crimpy go lightly that happens here.
All right, let me try. So folding in half.
Yep.
Half moon shape and then crimping.
You're crimping just on one side. So that's what helps to pull it around into that little half moon shape.
Oh my God, yours is restaurant quality.
Is it?
Mine doesn't look as good as yours. Mine looks like a bit of an empanada.
I always think I love empanadas.
Look at that. Not so good.
No, that's gorgeous. Oh, I like that technique as well. I don't know this one. Okay. I always think about these as like little handbags for Barbies.
Cute. Well, yours are much better than mine.
Come on. All right. Do you want to make the miso paste?
Yes.
So we're going to make a paste first and then we're going to make that into a broth by simply adding water. But this is one of my favourite things.
Yes.
Of course, it's in the book. And it's like a supercharged miso, I suppose.
Love it.
So whatever miso you love, and then add fresh herbs and don't be afraid of using really pungent herbs. So we've got coriander and rosemary and loads of ginger.
Yep.
You blitz that up and then you can keep this in the fridge for months.
Dumplings and miso sounds fantastic.
Those little cuties.
So cute.
Let's steam them up.
Okay.
Have you ever mucked around with cabbage leaves in the bottom of a steamer? This is a kind of a cute farming idea.
So great.
When you get those outer leaves on your cabbage and you don't know what to do with them except give them to your chooks, you can line the bottom of your steamer and it'll help stop the dumplings from sticking, because once you've gone to the effort of making dumplings, you don't want them sticking to your steamer. That would be a disaster. So this is just a gorgeous way of dealing with that problem.
It's a genius idea. Instead of using baking paper, you can use your leftover cabbage. Done.
Gorgeous.
How long are we going to steam them for?
I'm going to give those about 8 minutes.
Great. Well, that smells incredible.
It's such a good thing, isn't it?
I'll be making that again.
When you have that in your fridge, you're never short of lunch.
Yes.
Because you can just use that as a base and not add anything or put other stuff in it.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to do. So it's as simple as, for the base of the dumplings, taking a little spoonful of that. Well, it's a decent spoonful, actually. And then we'll add some boiling water. Now, with miso, a little tip is you don't want your water really, really boiling because it kills the probiotic aspect of the miso. So just let it come off the boil and then add water. And then we'll give this a little mixy.
Yum.
Yeah, and look at all the floaty herbs in there. It's the perfect base, isn't it?
Even just a bit of tofu in there would be fantastic, some seaweed.
Speaking my language. You are speaking my language.
But I could also see making myself a pumpkin soup and adding a dollop of that.
It's great for that. It's great for that. Rub it all over, you know, a cauliflower and roast that. Like, use it as a marinade. Yeah, it's brilliant.
So many options.
How are our little dumplings going over here?
Looks great.
They look good, don't they?
They really look good.
Do you have a choice, madam?
Not mine. Your perfect ones.
Oh, look at them.
So beautiful. I mean, and the dumplings as is with a bit of tamari or some chili oil, absolutely delicious. But this really makes it into a special meal when they're just sitting in that broth there. Just a real lovely winter warmer.
Pea tendrils because we're feeling a little bit chefy.
Yeah.
And because they're in the garden if you are lucky enough to have a little garden. Look at that. You feel nourished just looking at it, don't you?
You really do. And it almost looks creamy because of that miso that you've added it.
Grab your spoon. Let's do this. Let's do this. Are we going to be polite and cut them?
Yeah. I wanted to taste that broth first. Oh, it's so good. The ginger. And it was really interesting that you added rosemary and coriander, usually two herbs you wouldn't associate together.
It's a slightly weird combination, but the pungency of both of those herbs, that's what we want in the miso paste. But it's not overwhelming when you have it like this.
Far from it. Delish. The spelt casings of the dumplings, stunning. They've got a bit of a chew to them.
Yeah.
Slightly nutty. And then the nettles, the all-important nettles.
Oh yeah, we haven't even spoken about the nettles. Those little guys, they're fantastic. Yeah. They actually take on a little bit of a creamy texture as well, don't they?
Yeah, everything there works in harmony and it is like a soothing bowl of goodness.
She's got it.
You've got it. You really know what you're doing here. So good. Thank you very much.